If you want to speak in English, I can, but my Hebrew is much better. Okay, I'll speak in English. There is a story about our relations with the biological communities that Teddy Kollek once was asked about his relation with this Christian community, and someone asked him, Mr. Mayor of Jerusalem, how you have such good relations with those people who might think that at the end we will be converted. And he said, you know what is the problem? The Mashiach will come one day. As the mayor of Jerusalem, I will have to come to see him on the gates of Jerusalem with salt and bread. This is our tradition. So after he will eat something, I ask him, sir, is it your first visit in town? If he says yes, it is ours. If he says no, I was here once, we're in a very bad situation. So let's wait to him. You know, when we speak about the relations with the United States of America, as was very well described by other prominent people here on the stage, I think it's not only the relations between the administration and the government of Israel. It's much, much deeper, it's wider, it's going to history. And I think that we are speaking about three elements. One is the core of these relations, is the relation or the attitude of the American people towards Israel, as was described so, so clearly. Our situation within the American people is apparently good. With all the differences between women and men, young generation and old generation, by the way, the real question to be asked is what was the view of these old people about Israel when they were young? Because the younger are becoming older, the older are not becoming younger. So it's interesting to see if there is a change, or the view that you have when you are younger is the same view that you have when you are older. And this is, I think, a very crucial issue to be understood. I think that people are changing their...
And we know it.
What?
And we know it because we were once young.
I don't remember. Maybe you are right, but you know. But this is the core of these relations. Without these good relations or this attitude towards Israel that we have in the United States of America, all the other aspects cannot survive. And we have to work very hard to keep it and to enhance it. And there are some communities that we have to approach because we don't have as good relations as we have in other communities. And the potential is there. And we have to find the way how to approach them. The second part, which build on these good relations with the American people, is the relations with the Congress. But although without the sympathy of the people of America, we cannot have good relations with the Congress, and although part of this sympathy is an instinctive attitude towards what Israel symbolizes for Americans, it's really about the ordinary Americans and the members of the Congress. In the Congress, you cannot keep it only on the level of instinct. You have to add information to make your actions more understandable, to justify actions that is not so easy to justify, and so on and so forth. You have to educate them, and this is a relations that we have to invest a lot of energy to keep and to meet each of them, more than 500 people, whenever they want, and to add to their knowledge and the knowledge of their staff. And the staff in America is not the, you know, it's not the Vadat Chutz V'Bitachon, it's the staff in the Congress is something very big. And you have to work all the time to enhance these relations by providing more information and more explanations And the job to meet those people is something which is going on all the time. It's perpetuum mobile. It's never ended. And you have to invest in that. You cannot have any strategic relations if it is going to money or weapon systems, to backing Israeli needs in the United Nations or whatever, without investing in this level of decision makers in America. And it is very important to understand, yes, it's built on the instinct attitude of the American people, but cannot be standalone based just on that, and you have to build and to cultivate it more and more and more and to invest. The third area is the relation between the administration and the administration in Israel. There are four main channels. Of course, the first one, the most important one, when it is coming to the administration, is the White House and the Prime Minister's office in Israel. There are many differences between the American system of governing and the Israeli one, but both of them are very centralized. I mean, if in America it's by the Constitution. In Israel, it's by decision of the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister wants that something will be in his hands, it will be in his hands. It doesn't matter who are the members of the coalition and so on and so forth. And this relation between the White House and the Prime Minister's office are very important, because the decision-making system in America is focusing at the end in the White House. And the policy is done by the White House. The implementation might be in other places, but the policy is done by the White House. This is why the relations between the White House and and I'm very proud to be one of those who tried to contribute to those relations when I was there. I was not the one who established it, of course, but I tried to enhance it as much as possible, because you cannot have any strategic relations with the United States of America without having good relations between, or relations which allow you to speak with decision makers in the White House and in the Prime Minister's office. The second channel is the Pentagon. All the security issues, weapon systems, military forces exchange, whatever information, whatever is needed at the end of the day, the Pentagon is a very important factor in these relations. Of course, it's not separated from the relations with the White House, but in many occasions, there are special relations between the Pentagon and the IDF based on common interest and personal relations and the better understanding of the needs of Israel. And in some occasions, even better understanding of the character of the challenges that Israel is facing. And these relations with the Pentagon, done here in our side by the Ministry of Defense, are very important. We cannot have security military relations without having good relations between the Ministry of Defense and the Pentagon. Cannot work. The third channel is the intelligence community. And it's separate from the Pentagon. And what can be said about it, it's intelligence, not everything can be said about it, that we have really special relations. In some areas, I think we don't have better relations than any state in the world, but this is natural. But I can say on reverse, there are some areas in which the Americans do not have many countries that they have in the intelligence sphere such relations as they have with us. And this is very unique. And there is only one way to keep it on. First of all, policy decisions of both Prime Ministers and the White House. But both sides will have benefits from these relations. The intelligence community is very, very sharp and, practical. If I don't have benefits, why should I contribute? And we have to be very strong in our decision to cooperate and to contribute to the benefits of the Americans, that together, both of us will have much more than we have each of us separately. But this is a very important channel that even in bad days can be kept open because it's under the radar screen, less known, and very important to our security, and if I might say, very helpful to the Americans. The last one, but not the least, is the State Department. Unlike our foreign ministry, the State Department is very, very important factor in the decision-making process in the United States of America. This is why, in some occasions, the channel between the State Department and Israel is not done by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but the Prime Minister's office. Because there is a gap between the functionality of this Foreign Office in Israel and the State Department in America. In America, it's much, much stronger. But it's a very important one. In some occasions, because it's more formal, in hard days, this is the only channel which you can exchange views and speak with high officials. It's formal. Once in a while, we meet, we speak, and this is why we have to keep it, although in good days, it's less important, because there is a free exchange of views between the White House and the Prime Minister's office and the Pentagon and so on. We have to keep this formal channel for bad days. And every day, the exchange of views between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the State Department is important because, as I told you, what they bring to the table in America is very important in the process of decision-making in the United States of America. These are the four channels towards the administration. But we have to remember that today, when we see friction between us and the Americans, and people intend to say that this is a personal relations, I think the personal relations are important. But at the end of the day, it's interest in how we see the reality and how we think that reality can be changed, enhanced, or and what should be done. And at least in two issues, one is Iran and one is the Palestinian issue, the Israeli point of view is different from the American point of view, leave alone the personal relations. The personal relations are not so good, not because the difference between the persons. It's not so good because because of the issues, mainly Iran, but also the Palestinian issue. It's not the Americans are naive to think that they can solve the Palestinian issue tomorrow morning. We don't have to tell the Americans that at the end of the day, the last initiative was ended when the Prime Minister of Israel said to an American paper, I have reservations, but I'm ready to come. And Abu Mazen didn't answer them yet. They know the truth. So they are not naive to think that they can do something tomorrow to bring any solution. What they're very much against is the whole issue of the settlements and buildings in the settlements and in Jerusalem. And this is a big difference between our point of view and their point of view. But more important is Iran. This is a strategic decision which was made by the White House, and in this case, the White House, to go to an agreement with the Iranians, an agreement we think is a very bad one. On that, we have the issue of personal relations, but this is not the main issue. The main issue is Iran and the settlements. So this is the picture of the strategic relations today. What should be done? One of the challenges that the new government of Israel is facing, and the decision-making in Jerusalem is not going to be easy. Thank you very much.